Hello and welcome to episode 53 of Marbella with him and her. He is...
PJ Lopez, and she's back.
You didn't say and she is.
That's you can say Hannah Murray.
Well, I was going to say Hannah Curry.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, you totally ruined my joke.
Okay, go for it then. So good.
Welcome to... What do I say? I've totally lost it now. How do I start it? Hello, welcome to episode 53 of Marbella with him and her. He is...
PJ Lopez, and she is...
Hannah Curry.
Oh, your smell of curry.
Oh, don't. The kids said that when we got picked up from the airport, that Nikki and I smelt of curry.
Yeah, it's still... sort of
lingering,
yeah.
Well, it's because I've had curry for breakfast, lunch and dinner for the last 2 weeks, pretty much.
Yes, you are one big curry fest sitting next to me.
One of my nicknames at school was Hannah Curry because it rhymes with Murray and it's really clever.
Well, now you're living up to your nickname.
Now I'm actually living up to it. Thank you, Mandy. We have to thank Mandy first of all, who did a sterling job standing in for me the last 2 weeks on Marbella with him and her. It was good fun.
Yeah, we got to talk about expat life in Miami and compared it to expat life in Marbella, and we talked about manatees and sharks and all sorts of things. It's really good.
It made me want to go back to Miami. We have to go and see them in Miami.
Yes, I want to see a manatee.
Yes, I want to see a manatee as well.
I'm not sure I'm going to swim with it though.
At least you can pronounce it right now.
Yes, I might have cut that bit out.
I have got lots to talk about with India, but obviously this is a Marbella podcast. So I want to start by asking you what life in Marbella was like without me.
Well, literally the day after you left, I went for a run. I thought,
well done.
While you're away, I'm going to get fit.
How did that go?
Not very well, because then after that, it just rained biblically for the next 10, 15 days. It's been horrendous.
I can't believe it rained the whole time.
Yeah.
I almost felt bad for sunbathing.
You should. I think I got one other run in, just in between sort of rain. But after that, yeah, it's just been non-stop. I mean, literally, you can't believe how bad it's been.
Oh, awful. I've been seeing all the messages and the videos, and terrible about the Rhondda Road. I read that it's going to be closed till August, potentially. That's huge.
Yeah, well, they haven't been able to do anything and investigate it because it was still raining, so they couldn't do anything during that rain. Now I think some guy's gone to have a look at it, the minister of something or other, probably the minister of rockfalls in Rhondda, maybe. And he's now said that, it's going to be August. They're going to use an emergency sort of works permit or something like that, and they're going to clear as much as they can, but they only think they're going to get one lane open in August.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And you have a colleague that lives in Rhondda and can't get to work in Marbella.
Yes, so the company that I work for acquired another company and their two staff, one of which lives in Rhondda, and just after she joined, this happened, so she hasn't been able to get to the office.
Oh, no. So there are other ways to get to Rhondda, but it takes a lot longer, like through Coeen and up that way.
Yeah, so it's where your parents used to live, actually. That is the Coeen to Rhondda Road. So that's one way of getting in and out, but it's 45 minutes, wasn't it, to your parents' old house?
Yeah.
So to do it that way, it adds on about an hour. So it's about a 2-hour journey.
And it's a big deal because Rhondda's an extremely popular tourist destination for people coming to Marbella on holiday, whether it's for a couple of days or a couple of months. Most people will have Rhondda at the top of their list, or certainly in their top 10 as places to visit.
Yeah, I mean, they still can, obviously. They just have to go a different route and it'll take a lot longer to get there.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll let you know not if it opens, but when it opens, and if it's any sooner than August. In terms of food, you had a poke bowl whilst I was away. I was going to say not a poke bowl.
You know, I behaved.
Well done.
Yes.
So did I.
Good. Well done.
Yay us.
Crazy woman.
Tell us about your poke. Bowl.
Is it poke or pokey? It's pokey. I think Mandy's actually told us how to pronounce this one.
Oh, really? Pokey?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, poke sounds like poke.
Isn't it Hawaiian or something like that?
Yes, it is.
There you go.
Poke bowl.
Yeah, in Soho Market. I didn't know what to eat one day. And I was,
Guadalmina.
That's in Guadalmina, yes. And I was walking around aimlessly and I thought, I'm going to go into Soho Market. And then I could see that they had all these different sort of types of food. And I looked at the menu and there was poke bowls. They weren't cheap, but I thought I'm going to have the chicken one. And it was lovely. Very filling.
Yeah, they can be, can't they? Because there's loads of stuff in them.
I didn't need to eat again in the evening.
Very
That
good.
covered me for the rest of the day.
You also had a couple of curries. I know you talked about on the podcast last week. You had a takeaway from the new place.
Well, I had curry envy, as I said on the podcast. You kept posting pictures of all your lovely curries. So this week I joined. So there's a group of people here that do what they call a Friday frolic, and it's basically a group of them getting together to go out for dinner.
Frolicking on a Friday.
Which is why it's Friday Frolics.
Yes.
It's a good name.
And they normally go to Bombay Grill, our local Indian in San Pedro, and that's what you did.
I did, and I had a vindaloo.
I can't believe you had a vindaloo.
Yeah.
How's your bottom been?
I beg your pardon? How's yours been?
Well, that's another story. Any ring sting?
No, I'll tell you
good.
what happened was I got all the way through it, and I think, oh, I've done all right through this. You know, it's a bit spicy. Until the last mouthful, and I think there must have been a little bit of chilli that got stuck in my tooth. And oh my God, it literally nearly blew my head off. I couldn't get rid of it. It was in my tooth.
Well, it's funny you say that, not about the tooth thing, but there was a few meals while I was in India where I was eating them and thinking, yeah, I can feel there's a bit of a kick to this, but it's okay. And I was really enjoying it, really enjoying the flavour and the texture. And then as the meal went on, the heat started to intensify, and it went from being really nice to, oh my God, this is too hot, I can't finish it.
Well, didn't you say most people out there, they have these hot curries, but they drink this milky drink, like laskers or whatever they're called?
Lassies, yes, I had a few lassies that were really nice, a sort of sweet yoghurt drink.
Yeah, well, it cools it down. A lot of people go for water when they have a hot curry, and that just intensifies the heat.
Yeah.
You're meant to have like a dairy product or milk or something, and that lowers the heat.
I had a buttermilk drink once because I saw other people having it, and I thought that looks nice, but it wasn't particularly nice. But the lassie, the sweet yogurts were really nice.
Good. So you've learned something.
I've learnt something. I've learnt quite a lot actually, but more on that later. You did the Irish quiz this week. You had to do 2 quizzes for me whilst I was away.
Yes.
Both went really well, both busy.
Yes, last week's was very busy, and it was a very, very normal quiz. I always find the marking difficult, as you know. I told people they may want to bring a sleeping bag. But we weren't that bad. I got your dad to help me mark, so we did get through it okay.
Good stuff.
I even did a new way of marking, which worked for me. So I actually whizzed through this one, and I got some very good compliments on the quiz.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I had a test run. I was invited for dinner at Jamie and Beverley Stonehewers.
Nice.
And they did, it's a nice meal as well. It was pie and mash.
Oh, lovely.
It was good. And I did a test run of the Irish quiz, and I took hats with me and made them wear Irish hats because I wanted to get into the mood.
Yes.
And they did very well. So it gave me confidence that it was going to be a good quiz.
And it was. And the Paddies team won for the 4th year in a row.
They dropped 1 point the whole quiz.
That's seriously impressive.
And that was, what was further south? Tipperary. What was the question?
Oh, I don't know.
What was further south? It was Tipperary.
Cities.
It was 2 other cities.
Oh, great.
Yeah, the answer was Tipperary.
Yes. And that was the answer that Nikki and I put.
Yes, you did.
Because you sent me the quiz and we did it whilst we were in India.
An Irish quiz in India. Now, there's something, isn't it? Was there an Irish pub in India?
Do you know what? I didn't see one.
There's an Irish pub everywhere. There must be.
I know. I actually didn't see one. I mean, we didn't explore a lot of Goa. There may well have been one in Goa. But a lot of the other places we went to were pretty rural. So I have just got back from 2 weeks, pretty much, in India doing the Rickshaw Rally. I was talking about it a little bit before we went, but we didn't really completely know. Well, we knew what we were about to do, but we didn't know exactly what we were letting ourselves in for or what we were going to get from the experience. We drove tuk-tuks. There were 18 tuk-tuks, or auto rickshaws as they're called, from Chennai on the east coast of India to Goa on the west coast. It was 1,000 kilometres. It was 6 days of driving, 54 women, and I cannot begin to tell you what an incredible experience it was. The roads and the driving was absolutely crazy. The first couple of days we're going, oh my God, there's a car coming towards you and he's on the wrong side of the road and he's undertaking, and thinking that everybody was mad. But by the 3rd day, you're used to it, and by the fourth day you're doing all of those things yourself, and it all becomes completely normal. At the beginning we were told that you will have a breakdown at least once.
What, emotionally or in the vehicle?
Well, in the vehicle, but there was a lot of emotional breakdowns as well. And we were given a toolkit, which was interesting and eye-opening. And Princely, the guy who was running the whole trip, said a lot of people think that in India we drive on the left-hand side of the road. This isn't true. And everyone gasped and looked at each other confused. And he said, we drive wherever there is space.
Can I just say well done for not trying to attempt the accent?
Yes, thank you. I did think about it, but I thought, no, I better not. I better not. So yes, and that is completely true. There's no such thing as undertaking. There's no such thing as lanes in the road. People just drive wherever there's space, and as did we. And it was an incredible experience. You know, at the end of I'm a Celebrity, when all the celebs at the end say, you know, no one will ever understand this experience we've had. We've got a bond for life,
yeah.
And whenever, unless there were any fallouts, you know, whenever we see each other, we'll automatically have this bond.
Yeah.
That's how we felt.
Wow.
And since being back, I've barely been back 24 hours, and looking at the WhatsApp group that we're still on from this trip, people are writing. I can't tell you the amount of times I've burst into tears.
Oh, well, you burst into tears during the night and you don't know why. You just woke up crying.
I'm having weird dreams, and a couple of the other women have said the same thing, dreaming about, you know, getting the directions wrong, or turning up late, or getting the fuel, because you had to mix petrol with oil and you had to get the amounts right, and there was a lot to do. And navigating on Google Maps, as you know, when we've done it here, it is easy to go wrong. You can get to like a fork in the road, like maybe one road is a flyover and the other road is on the side going down a little bit, and until you get right there, it's really difficult to tell which one it is. And if you're responsible, the person in the front is going left or right, and you're going right, and they're going right, are you sure? And then you're like, oh no, left, sorry, it's left, oh no, right, and it's it's all really scary. And a few times we have taken the wrong road, and it's nobody's fault. Everybody made mistakes with map reading. You know, we all made mistakes because it is really hard to do. And sometimes you'd come offline, which made it even harder. And some of these roads, we'd come up to junctions and there was like 7 different options.
Oh,
and
no.
you zoom in and you look on the map and think, how the hell are we going to negotiate this? And invariably we didn't, and we took wrong turnings. And sometimes it was easy to just do a turning and come back again. But there was one day where we had to drive 18 kilometres down the wrong road in order to turn round and come back again, because it was a motorway, and
I think when I spoke to you after that, you were feeling a little bit dejected.
Oh, definitely.
But you got yourself up again and you did it all over again the following day. And how do you feel now that you've done it?
Incredibly proud. I can't believe what we did. We didn't kill a cow or a dog or people, all of whom cross motorways, you know, the motorways that we see here. There are groups of school children that are just walking across the road, and you have to brake and beep your horn. I mean, people beep horns like they're going out of fashion. It's not how we would use a horn. There's no aggressiveness. There's no road rage. You just beep a horn to let someone know that you're there, and they move over. They're all really quite polite and excellent drivers, I have to say.
And so, talking of road rage and people not getting upset, you told me the funniest story about some girls that were in one of their tuk-tuks and the wheel came off, went flying down a road and knocked somebody off their bike.
Yes! Unbelievable! Whilst driving along, one of the wheels this wasn't our tuk-tuk, a wheel came off and it hit a guy on a motorbike, and he came off his bike. And all the women, of course, were like going, oh my God, I'm so sorry, you okay? And he just sort of smiled, dusted himself off, got back on the bike, and off he went. I mean, if that happened here, you can imagine the lawsuit and...
where there's blame, there's a claim.
Exactly. But no, everybody was lovely. I have to say, the Indian people were all really nice, really helpful. Whenever we broke down, a man or two would appear in minutes, seconds sometime, try to work out what the problem is and fix it. We kept having issues with our spark plug. 2 men changed the spark plug by the side of the road for us. Everybody was lovely. It was very sad seeing some of the poverty and seeing how people were living, you know, large families in shacks by the side of the road with a cow tied up to a tree. And it was an amazing feeling to know that we were doing something to give back and to help these communities and girls in education. We went to visit a school, which was really emotional, and they did a concert for us, which was just fabulous. They were singing songs from Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music, and we were all in tears. It was incredible. A really emotional experience, both at times whilst we were there, but certainly afterwards, reflecting and looking back on it. We're all really proud of what we've done.
And you're almost mini celebrities in India, aren't you? Because, I mean, you've been all over the Indian press and TV. You've made it to the BBC over here. You've made it to ITV over here. I mean, it's incredible coverage.
Yeah, it has been amazing. We did, on the first day when we were at the school, actually, we were told that press were going to be there, but I don't think we quite realised how much. And there was, I mean, honestly, about 30 odd men standing there with microphones and mobile phones pointed at us, getting pictures, getting audio. They did an interview, obviously, that was translated from English with the answers that Emma and Fran were giving, who organised the whole trip from the Sisterhood. And yeah, we're all now part of the Sisterhood, and it really feels like a sisterhood. It was incredible.
And talking of the coverage and everything, literally people were coming up to you and taking selfies, weren't they? I mean, they recognised you obviously from the coverage, and they were a thumbs up and waving and cheering you on and everything, so that must have helped.
Yeah, it was a great reception. It really was. Some people were kind of laughing because it's obviously unusual to see Western white women driving tuk-tuks across India. They're not used to seeing that. So people were laughing and smiling and doing the perfect symbol with their hands and clapping, and everyone was taking videos and wanted pictures, and yeah, it was the most bizarre, wonderful experience. And we have so far raised
nearly 150,000.
Nearly £150,000, which is incredible. But it's going to stay open till end of April, possibly even end of May. So if you haven't donated yet and you would like to, every little helps. Don't worry if it's a fiver, a tenner, whatever. It's all goes to a fantastic cause. We paid for our own trip. None of it goes to the trip or the hotels or anything. We all did that ourselves. All the money goes to these amazing charities. And we met some of them, the Round Table India, Ladies Table India. And they were all so incredibly grateful to meet us all and for the challenge that we were doing. And yeah, it was a really overwhelming, challenging, incredible experience.
Well, we're all proud of you too.
Thank you.
Well
and it
done.
was amazing. My welcoming committee at the Malaga airport last night, PJ, my dad and Sheila were all there with balloons, a banner that PJ had made, and they had those, what do you call them?
The party whistles.
Party whistles, which was brilliant. That was really lovely. So I cried as soon as I arrived. I have to say, though, it's great to be home.
It's good to have you home. 2 weeks without you has been strange.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some people think, yay, she's away for 2 weeks. No, I mean, the first Saturday or the first weekend, I mean, you hadn't even left for India. I think you were still in London. And it felt really odd. I was moping around, basically. It's like, what should I do? Oh, let's watch TV. Oh, no, I don't want to watch that because we watched that together. Oh, I don't want to watch that because we watched that together. Oh, no, I can't go out because it's peeing down with rain. Oh, I don't know. Oh, so I just sat there. I don't actually know what I did.
Bless you, I'm sorry.
But I cooked.
You cooked. You did some great cooking videos, actually.
Yes, that's why I put my effort into cooking.
Yeah, nice one. Oh, talking of which, I want you to learn how to make dosas.
Already have.
Have you?
Uh-huh.
You've looked it up? Because
Yes.
It's like this weird kind of rice bean flour
No,
thing.
it is. So basically you soak rice overnight, then you whiz it up in the Thermomix, and that is what you use to make the dosas.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Let's have a look at some Sir English articles. We read that Marbella has been confirmed to host the Davis Cup tie against Denmark. This is at the Puente Romano in Marbella, the hotel. They have fabulous tennis courts there. They've done a lot there tennis-wise. This is happening in September.
Yeah, and they're hoping that Alcaraz, obviously Spain's top player, will be there. So it's going to pull in the crowds, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a great venue. I mean, we've seen concerts there, but it's going to be a fantastic venue. And good to see something like this coming back to Marbella. Obviously, they've had it in Malaga. Friends have gone there quite regularly to see it in the I can't remember what stadium is in there, the Palacio de Congresos, or next to that, the Deportivo.
What's the latest stadium? No,
that's where Malaga play.
Yeah.
But they've done it there quite a few times. So yeah, bringing it back to Marbella is really good news.
Yeah, tickets will sell fast for that, no doubt. There was another piece that said, from Vanuatu to Benin, the most unusual nationalities living in Marbella. There are representatives from every continent and 153 different countries.
I wonder how they found this out.
I know. Well, I suppose we all have to fill in forms all the time now, don't they? They're keeping an eye on us everywhere.
So where is Vanuatu?
Vanuatu.
Vanuatu.
I'm pretty sure its capital is Vaiaku village.
Well done.
And I remember that from when I had to learn the capital cities to try and do the Guinness World Record. Where it is, on the other hand, I think and assume it's around the kind of Tonga area. What do they call that? Above New Zealand and... what's it called?
Polynesia.
Polynesia, thank you.
Oh, it's like I know stuff.
It's like you know stuff. Yeah, that sort of area. I think. I could be completely wrong, but I think it's there. And Benin...
Where's that?
That's Africa, isn't it?
I have no idea. That's what I'm asking
we'll
you.
stop talking.
What's the capital of Benin?
I can't remember. Mampu.
Manpu?
No, not Man. I'm trying to think. It's something poo. I think Manapu or something like that.
I'm going to look this up afterwards.
Bampo. I can't remember. Casares has been voted the most beautiful town in Andalusia.
And where's that?
That's in Andalusia.
Okay.
It's just up the road near Estepona, kind of inland from Estepona.
Yes.
And it is beautiful. I used to go there not fairly often, but whenever people used to come over on holiday, I'd always take them to Casares, but haven't been in years.
Yeah, there's like a ruins of a castle there, isn't there, on one hill? And it's a nice little village and white houses and stuff. I actually went there once when it was the Casares Feria, and I sat in the terrace of a hotel that was above the village watching Chambao.
Oh, wow.
And obviously they were down on a stage in the village, but you could see them quite clearly from where we
Yeah.
were. And yeah, it was amazing because they're one of my favourite Spanish groups, Chambao.
Yeah.
And
if you haven't discovered Chambao, check them out. They do brilliant music.
Yeah, they're doing quite a few concerts. I still haven't been to a proper concert.
Oh, that would be good to do.
Yeah.
I've got one of their songs in my head, but I'm not going to attempt to sing it because
No,
it will
don't.
sound awful. Marbella planned this. I was really excited to see, and about time too. Marbella plans new rules for horse-drawn carriages in a bid to improve animal welfare. Operators have 12 months to comply. The town hall plans to actually put an end to the popular tourist activity within the next 20 years. I'm not sure why it's as much as 20 years. The new rules are things like no whipping. So when you've got customers on the back and you're taking them around, you're not allowed to whip the horses, which is good. I'm surprised it's taken so long to come in. The animals are supposed to get 2 hours rest during an 8-hour day, and they're supposed to be properly cared for and looked after with regular veterinary checkups.
I mean, all of that just sounds like that should be the standard anyway.
Exactly, it sounds obvious, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
and the whole thing about 20 years, I assume it's a generational thing. People have had this job for their whole life,
Yeah,
so they need to give them time to retrain or find other jobs or not go into this job in the beginning because they
Yeah.
know it's not going to be a long-term career.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Oh, sorry.
But this whole whipping of them as well. I went to see the horse show at Jerez de la Frontera, and it's where they train all the horses,
Yeah.
these Spanish horses. And you'll notice, when they get them to jump in the air, they flick them on their legs. And I think the way they've done that is they've obviously whipped them quite hard so they don't like it, and that's why they leap in the air. So again, although it looks spectacular, it's cruel. It's not very nice.
I do find it fascinating how over the years we have, I say learnt, I think as humanity learnt more and more that a lot of these things are unacceptable with regards to how animals are treated for entertainment purposes or for humans to get some sort of enjoyment out of them without proper care and understanding of the animal and how the animal feels about it. And it does make me think of all the different things that animals are used for, whether it's riding elephants, whether it's going to sea life centres and watching dolphins and whales and things jump out of swimming pools. There are so many things. I mean, some people would argue the meat industry itself. You know, that it's just interesting how over the years people's attitudes are changing a lot towards these things, and I think it will be interesting to see where we are in 20, 50 years time in terms of how much animals are used or not for these types of things.
Yeah, I'd like to think that it will change, but unless everybody turns vegan or, you know, zoos close down, and again, you're talking livelihoods, you're talking ways to see animals. I mean, I used to go to zoos and safari parks when I was younger, and it was amazing to see animals up close, you know. So I think,
and for a lot of kids, it's their only opportunity to see animals like that.
So I think there just needs to be more welfare for the animal. I don't, you know, a zoo, is it ever going to be good for a lion to be kept in a cage? It's not. It's not their natural environment, you know. But at the same time, I would never have seen a lion if it wasn't for going to London Zoo and seeing a lion in a cage. So, you know, but I don't know if that is a good enough reason to keep a lion in a cage.
No.
So it's a huge debate.
But there's different ways zoos are managed now, because there is an argument for certain types of zoos where animals are given a lot more space to roam. There are people that say that some animals aren't able to go back out into the wild for various reasons, due to injury or whatever. So there are more and more kind of animal sanctuary type places as opposed to zoos where they're put in tiny cages. So it's the way it's done, I think, can make a huge difference. Same with circuses. Circuses with animals were totally normal when we were growing up.
Yeah, of course they were.
But over the years, that doesn't happen anymore.
So Castellar is near us, isn't it? And that's a type of sanctuary zoo, isn't it? And if you haven't been there, you must go. That's about half an hour, 45 minutes from here, I would say.
A bit longer.
About an hour. But it's an amazing zoo. It's got a massive petting area where you can get in with the animals and stroke them and everything. But yeah, it's beautiful. They've got, like, for the monkeys, they've built this massive network above the whole of the zoo, and they just zoom around there, don't they?
And they look after them properly and give them proper care, and it's more of a sanctuary than a zoo.
Yeah, and
it's a different kind of concept.
They breed animals there as well, and often they've got a baby tiger or a baby lion or something that's just been born that you can go and you can actually hold and help feed it and everything. So yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great setup. Well, that is it from us. It's fantastic to be back in Marbella, in my home, and with you on Marbella with him and her.
You fancy curry now?
Maybe in a couple of days. It is goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from her.